Judges.
Shabbat Shalom to everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome again to First Yahudin Messianic Temple here in Lake Placid, Florida. I am his servant, Maria Simpson. And it is awesome and beautiful and tremendous when all the brothers and sisters are together on Shabbat, on the day of Yahweh's rest, his rest. Okay? Today I'm going to really talk about leadership. It's a very powerful word. And we need to understand, and for me, I believe, this is me, and I could be wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right all the time, but I could be wrong. Anybody can be a leader. Do you all agree with me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But only great leaders are born. There's a difference. Anybody can be taught to be a leader. But great leaders are born. Moses, Yeshua, Paul, David, they were born. And some of you, great leaders. So today I'm going to speak about a great leader. Who? Who was his name? His name was Gideon. Gideon. And very few, we hear about Gideon's story. We hear, But today I'm going to dedicate this to men. And the message is titled, Strong Men in Tough Times. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now, if you all have your, and see, I'm used to it since I live in the South now, and here in Florida. I've been living here for 14 years, and now, every so often I go, you all. You sound like, you capture, the Southern accent, you all. And really, even though that this is a message for men, but at times you're going to see that it's for both men and women. Whatever it is that you're going through right now, how much you've been crying, how tired you are, don't give up. Don't give in. Yahweh said to Joshua, in the book of Joshua, when Moses died, Moses, a great leader, now comes Joshua in the picture. Be strong and very courageous. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for Yahweh your Elohim is with you wherever you go. Where are you going? If you right now, if you are weak because of what you're going through, then you're weak indeed, because what things are coming in the tribulation is very hard. And what he's testing is our faith. Faith without works is nothing. Amen. What a powerful statement when Yahweh said to Joshua and to all of us, be strong and do not be afraid. Be courageous. Be courageous. Do not be dismayed. In other words, don't faint. Don't give up. What's wrong with you? Your job, what you see, what you don't see, what's happening in your family, what's happening with you, what's happening in your relationship, what's happening in your marriage. He's testing your faith. How is your faith? Faith without works is nothing. Faith, listen to it. Faith is like a body. A body without a spirit is nothing. It's dead. In all human history, there has never been a time when the call of strong men has louder or the need been greater. We need strong men today, and I really mean males. I really mean males. A lot of men are hiding behind the rock. A lot of men are hiding still under their mother's skirts. A lot of men are depending a lot on their wives, and that is wrong. Because the wife is the one that's supposed to depend on him. And then each other can depend on each other. Men, be strong. about your physical strongness. Talking about your faith. Your faith. All men dream of being clapped as heroes. Do you agree with me, man? Mm-hmm. All men want to be heroes. But few know what it takes, how to do it, and how to get there. Yahweh Elohim created men to be leaders and to be heroes, not to be wimps. Not to be wimps. He did not call men to be Ahabs. And for those of you out there that don't know what Ahabs are, just read the story of Jezebel and Ahab. And if you have a spirit of Ahab, I can guarantee you, you have a wife, a girlfriend, somebody, a mother that has the spirit of Jezebel.
Yeah. Repeat that, please.
Excuse me?
What did you just say about Ahab?
Ahab, if you don't know what Ahab means, just look at in the story of Jezebel and Ahab in 1 Kings, when Elijah, man, you were giving courage, you were giving to be the head, to be the leader, to be strong. Men are losing their dignity because the devil is loose. And many say, the devil. Well, I got time to tell you, he's defeated. He's defeated. Stop blaming the devil. The devil has no power unless you give whatever power you have, and that's your anointing. You give it, then he's got the power. He's got your power.
Question. So a man that has the Ahab spirit is because he's got a Jezebel woman in his life.
You better believe it.
His wife or mother.
Yes. You better believe it. A man that has an Ahab spirit, which is a very meek, a very, whatever you say, dear. Whatever you say, dear. Hey, Ahab, stop doing it. Whatever you say. No. That's wrong. Jezebel spirits are right now in the church, in the temples, in the kehilah. And let me tell you, it's time to get serious for him. And get rid of those evil spirits. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach.
Amen.
Gideon. The word Gideon, the name Gideon means destroyer. It means destroyer. Gideon was a judge. Last week I spoke about Deborah also being a judge. The book of Judges is about judges. Also Samson is in the book of Judges. He was a judge for Israel's time. So today I'm going to speak about Gideon the destroyer. And by the way, even though Gideon thought that he was very weak, because he weak, the angel said to him, Gideon, you are a man of valor. Because when Yahweh calls a man, just like he did Moses, you're going to go face Pharaoh. Well, what do you mean I'm going to face Pharaoh? What are you talking about? I don't know how. You cannot say me. I said, really? Don't tell me this. See, he chooses what most people don't want, so he can make something out of them. And what happened? Did Moses win?
Yeah.
Not only did he have to confront Pharaoh, king over all the earth at that time, but now he has a bunch of millions of complaining, hard-headed, pagan worshiper Israel, that now he's between two, and he's the only one. It only takes one person. It only takes a great leader. One great leader, Yeshua HaMashiach. One great leader. Yeah. One great leader. And this is what women love in men, when they take control. And I'm not talking about control so they can abuse them. No. So they can take control. Control of their house, control of their kehilah, control of their church, control of their family, control. And controlling does not mean abuse. A very great leader, a man that is a leadership, it is a man that is humble, just like David. David was a humble man, and David went before the Most High and said, change in me my heart, change it, give me a new heart. Why did David say that? Because David had something that most men have, actually all men have, pride. Men have pride. And what did happen with David? When that pride took over, oh, I'm the king of Israel. I am going to fool around with so-and-so's wife. I am going to have him killed. I am going to lie. And what happened? When she got pregnant, had the baby, he says, that child is born, is coming, he's going to born but dead. Because what does sin bring? Death. And what does sin means? Disobedience. See, we all say, all believers say, I believe in God. I believe in God. But when they're wrong, because they're in disobedience, you begin to talk about the word, they don't want to hear you. Because you're bringing too much conviction. So what happened with David? David saw what was happening in his life, and he surrendered, and he became humble. Moses was humble. Yeshua was humble. And what did David say? Change in me my heart. Change my heart. Don't let your spirit leave me, please. The greatest man, one of the greatest, there's a couple. The greatest man in the Bible was David. But what happened because of what he did? Look, he had children with other wives that he had. And what happened? The son raped the daughter and so on and so on. And Solomon, how many wives? So see, we need to be careful. Because nothing that men do comes from their own sin. It comes from Yahweh. You need to give glory to glory is due. Because there will come a time that a man and a woman are born. But it will come a time that a man and a woman will die and will stand before the presence of the Creator. And what will we say? What will we say when we're in front of
We don't need a Messiah.
We have to know. We have to know before who we stand.
Amen.
When we are in front in Judgment Day.
Wow. That guy's doomed. Wow.
This is to all men out there who are complaining, who are waiting for something to happen. And in reality, he's waiting for you to do something so he can work in your life. There are men believers that do not seek Yahweh. They don't pray to him. And then they got the audacity to say that they believe in God. No, you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself. Get rid of your ego. Get rid of your ego. It doesn't work in the kingdom. It doesn't work in the world. It doesn't work when you have pride. Men, you have been given a great authority over the earth. You have been given to be the head, not the tail. You have been given to be above, not from beneath. Gideon, Judges chapter 6, was a man that was called by Elohim to do great things. He thought so little of himself and was filled with doubt and unbelief. But Elohim was patient with him. He was still the man for the job in spite of his weakness. See, when Yahweh calls a man and says, you are going to do this, most men, what they do is they look at their weaknesses instead of their strength. Because the job that is given to you is not an easy one.
Amen.
What am I talking about? Let's take one of them. It's called being the head of the family. It is not easy for a man to really be the head and have the children and the wife and the finances and the house and the job. This is a big thing for men. For you ladies that don't know. Okay? So that's just that one thing is very big for a man. And what a man does, because men do not talk, do not let what's bothering them out as easy as women. That's why women get around the table and we become each other's therapists. And it feels good, but men don't do this. And the reason I have been told for men, the men don't do this is because they feel that it's a sign of weakness. But men can speak about their problems to other women, but not to men.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Listen very carefully. I'm going to tell you a little bit very quickly, because I'm pressed for time today. Let me tell you a little bit about Gideon. And put yourself in his position. It begins with Israel being ravaged by the Midianites. Midianites is from Jethro, Moses' father-in-law. It's a sequence of disobedience to Elohim. Look at what it says in Judges chapter 6, verse 1. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and Yahweh delivered them unto the hands of Midian 7 years.
Whoa.
Wow.
Evil. What evil was Israel doing?
Worshiping others.
Another idol.
The father of Gideon built
Idols.
altars for Baal and Ashtoreth. Okay? So by doing this evil, what came upon them was a curse. See, it doesn't matter. We think, oh, well, I'm saved. I'm saved. Oh, yeah, you're saved. But see, until all Israel is saved, then you're still the same. Biblically speaking. Because we are our brother's keepers. Don't think that it's just an I kind of deal. This is not a one-way army. This is a team thing. When Cain said to Yahweh, when Yahweh said, where's Abel? He knew where Abel was.
What is it?
And Cain, what did Cain say? Am I my brother's keeper?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Cain. We are our brother's keeper. Love your brother as yourself. Because when you love your brother, you fulfill the whole law. Hallelujah. For 7 years, Israel was envisioned. In other words, the Midianites had control over their lives. The Amalekites and the eastern foreigners who ruined their crops and destroyed their cattle. Although they had unfaithfulness to Elohim, okay? They were not worshiping him because they were doing what was called, they were worshiping the gods of the Amorites. Don't think that today is different. Don't think that today is different. They cried out to Elohim for his help without realizing why this was happening to them. Look at verse number 6. And Israel was greatly impoverished, which means helpless, because of the Midianites. And the children of Israel cried unto Yahweh. In verse 8, and Yahweh sent a prophet unto the children of Israel, which said unto them, thus says Yahweh Elohim of Israel, I brought you up from Egypt, and brought you forth out of the house of bondage. I deliver you out of the hand of the Egyptians, out of the hand of all the oppressed, they oppressed you, and drove them out before you, and gave their land, their land. And I said unto you, I am Yahweh your Elohim. Fear not the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell, but you have not obeyed my voice.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't look at that.
How many of you are receiving this today?
Amen.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so that-
See, the difference between Elohim or God and us is that he hears our cry.
Amen. Boy, that's right.
And he runs when we cry to him. Gideon Look at when we cried to him, look at verse number 11. Now he sends an angel. And there came an angel of Yahweh and sat under the oak which was of Ophrah, that pertained unto Hosash. Hosash was Gideon's father, who really built these altars of Baal and Ashtoreth. And Abimelech, and Gideon threshed, and he was threshing wheat. In other words, he was threshing wheat, and he was threshing wheat. Verse 12, and the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him and said unto him, Yahweh is with you, the mighty man of valor. He's threshing wheat, and now this angel is calling him the man of valor. You know what the word valor means? A very powerful man. It's a very powerful man. All men are men of valor. Very powerful men. Because Yahweh has not created men to be lower. To be lower, look at this, to be lower than Satan himself. He has made men to be high, powerful, leaders, headship. Elohim had a big plan for Gideon, the destroyer, who was threshing wheat. And wheat represents his children. Now, Gideon thinks, because now he has a calling, and he goes, you're going to go and you're going to destroy all the Midianites. And he says, the Midianites, are you for real? They were in camp around them, and they looked like locusts. You couldn't even, there were so many. Wow. So now he calls it, Gideon says, you're gonna do this. And Gideon says, oh sure, no problem. Since I am from the tribe of Manasseh, I am going to take 22,000 men with me. Look, where am I? I'm here somewhere. Here we go. Somewhere around here. I think chapter 7, verse number number 3. Now therefore go proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return to depart early in front of Gilead. And there returned unto the people 22,000, and there remained 10,000. In other words, he was thinking of taking 22,000, and the only one that remained with 22,000 was 10,000. This 10,000 is a symbol of today, what's called the 10 tribes. The 10 tribes are going to and from the world, and what are they doing? They're destroying altars of Baal. Just like Elijah. I'm just telling you a little bit, and then I'm going to get into the part of today's man, okay? And look at what happened with Gideon, okay? He's already been told that he is a great man of valor. Look at what it says here on chapter 6, verse 12. Well, now you're ready. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him and said unto him, Yahweh is with you, you mighty man of valor. This is to all men out there. You are a man of valor. You are a man of destiny. You are a man that Yahweh has called for himself. He has given you a huge responsibility here on the earth. Don't give your responsibility and that ability that you have to others, especially to Hasatan. And look at what happens. Gideon thinks he's going to use 22,000 men, right? Right. You read it, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The angel of Yahweh says, that's not going to happen. You're only going to take 300.
How many?
300.
300 men. 300. You're going to take 300 men. So, look at what happens. This is in chapter 7. verse number. No, but I want to tell you where it is that he says 200 men, and this is with the angel. Oh, here we go. 7:6. And the number of them that left, putting their hand in the mouth, were 300 men, but all the rest of the people bowed down unto their knees and drink water. Now, before I tell you, because I know the angels told him this, the angel said it. I'm not. You can read this yourself in chapter 6 and verse number 7. He says, "You're not taking 22,000. You're taking 300 men." And he goes, "But how is this? Are you crazy?" See, the reason you're taking 300 men is because if you take those 22,000 men, you are the one that think that you did this. By you taking 300 men, you're going to give Yahweh the praise.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this is not your doing, it is his doing.
Amen.
See, this. He's helping him because now he's helping how? Because he wants him to overrule that weakness mind. Yahweh does not call weak people weak men. He does not do this. And when he does, when that word goes inside of those men, they will not be weak anymore.
It's kind of like when he says, "I'll only give you what you can handle."
Yes. Very
Because
good.
If he had all of them, he would become overwhelmed and not be able to perform.
He gives you what he can handle, the sister says. Because if he gives you too much, then you won't be able to handle it. See, but the thing is, and she's right, he develops us through time. And what is happening with us that we don't want to be developed because we think we know it. Are you ready to get married? Oh yeah, I'm ready. Really? Oh, I went to school, I make so much money. You're never ready to get married. Because that's a responsibility you never had. No, I'm going to the university. And you think you're ready to go to the university? Now you're going to do something you never did. No. I'm going to be a singer. You think that's going to be easy? You need to be developed. You're going to into something that you never did. But this something that you never did is what's going to develop, because he says, now I place in front of you, how are you supposed to go in just like an eagle when he sees a storm? An eagle is the only bird that when he sees us, and I'm talking about heavy duty storm, he doesn't chicken out like chickens. He sees the storm. And let me tell you about the eagle. He does not go to the storm where it's kind of like, no. He goes where it's thundering and it's dark and it's getting really dark, and they go, oh, that's a challenge. Are you for real? Honey, I can fly higher than you because I am going to go above so the light can be upon me. What does the eagle does? His eyes of an eagle, what is it? He just stands there and he looks. This is why focus and your goals are very important. And he focuses on that storm. That storm represents Satan. That storm represents somebody that wants to destroy you. That storm represents, hallelujah, because they want to get rid of you. They don't like what you're saying. They don't like how you look. They don't like how beautiful, how handsome you are. They don't like your family. They don't like you, period. But you say, I don't care. I am going to mount up with wings as eagle. And I'm going to come against that storm. See, don't run away from the storm. Only chickens do that. But the eagle doesn't talk. The eagle doesn't talk. The eagle has made his mind. The eagle looks at that storm and says, I know that I'm going to because I'm not going to fly. I'm going to soar. Eagles don't fly. Eagles soars. And what do? They come against that storm. They confront that storm. And when they're inside of that storm, look at what they do. They go above it. They overcome it. Hallelujah. Leadership is a complicated thing. It has many respect, experience, emotional strength, people skills, discipline, vision, momentum, and timing. Anybody can be a leader, and I believe this truly. I believe anybody can be a leader, but only great leaders are born. Before Yeshua came to this earth, Yeshua was already called to be a great leader, the Savior of Israel. Before Moses was born, he already had that he was going to be a great leader. Paul, Peter, including women. That is why leaders require so much seasoning. So they can do what they have to do. Everything is possible for you. Why? Because the one that makes it possible is Yeshua HaMashiach, who strengthens you. The good news about leadership is the ability. Is ability, not static. No matter where you're standing from, you can get better. One of the great movies that I love, I think I've seen this movie maybe 7 times. Braveheart. It's a true story, by the way. Wallace. This man, look at this man that England was coming over, I think it was either Ireland or Scotland.
Scotland.
This one man, in history, this man existed. And what was the thing at the end when they were torturing him? He screamed out. Freedom. What did he scream out?
Freedom.
Freedom. To this day, people still talk about Wallace. To this day, people still talk about Yeshua. To this day, people still talk about Moses. To this day, people still talk about Yahweh. The greatest leader. The greatest phenomenon. The greatest wonder. Hallelujah. Without Elohim, without God, a leader can do nothing of real value. Only destroy other people. Look at Fidel Castro. Yeshua declared, he who abides in me and I in him bear much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. Every victory, listen very carefully to all those that read the Bible and believe in God, in Elohim. Those men of you, men and women that read the Bible. Every victory in the Bible that Israel had was the cause of the Grand Poobah, Yahweh Sabaoth. Do you all believe this?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Because I know it's true.
Yeah.
And how do I know it's true? I was never there. But see, I was never there, but the Ruach HaKodesh was.
Yeah.
And since the Ruach HaKodesh was there, the Ruach HaKodesh is in me. And he is a revealer of secrets to his prophets. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Great leaders spend their lives taking people to another level, helping them develop to reach their potential. Understand this. Whatever it is that you're battling, that battle is in front of you, that right now you're battling. Are you any of you battling a battle? Let me see your hands. Who told you it's your battle? That's not your battle. The battle is not yours, it's his.
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't you get on your knees and repent? Really repent. You know what repent means? Turn around. You have tried it your way. Has it worked?
No, your way don't work.
Has it worked? No, and it will not work. I'm going to tell you why, and to all those that have really accepted Yeshua, so to speak. Do you think that was enough just to say, I accept you, Yeshua, or I accept you, Jesus? Jesus. It's Jesus. And now you're written in the Lamb's Book of Life. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Because after that comes obedience.
Amen.
How can you be obedient But now you're doing it still your way, or even worse. Because now you're still doing the same thing, and you got his money in your mouth. How? That's embarrassing.
That's blasphemy.
That is embarrassing.
Blasphemy.
You cheat on your wife? Oh no, because I'm a man. My father was a womanizer. Literally, my father was an awesome, awesome father. But he was a womanizer. Mujeriego, as we call it in Cuba or in Spanish. Somebody in the family was cheating on their wife. And my father was clapping. And I'm standing right in front of my dad. And my dad has 4 girls. I'm the oldest. And I'm looking at my dad and I said, really, Papa? No me diga. Really? You condemn this? Oh no, he's a man.
You condone this.
Condone this. And he goes, he's a man. And man has more desires than a woman. I said, really? If this is true, then why do you cheat on my mother with other women when you say what's out there is no good?
Yeah.
My father didn't know what to say to me. He go, how dare you? What do you mean a man has a desire? Yes, men think more about sex than women do. Doesn't mean women don't think about sex. But men do think about sex more during the day than women do. But it doesn't make that now he's gonna put his donut in every cup of milk or every cup of coffee. He's gonna dunk his donuts. No! No! Every human being has a weakness. The devil, who's been defeated, works with your weakness, not with your strength. And one of the things that he works most is because it's going to damage not only your body, your DNA, it will damage your family. It's really doing what? Sexual perversion outside of your home. Sexual perversion with yourself. Do you really, and I'm even going to, this is not even my message, but I have to tell you. I hear men and women, well, you got to take care of business yourself. And I looked at them and I said, really? And you think this is okay? How does it feel? Because I don't think it feels great. It's not the same because you don't have a human being there. Well, I need to let it out. What the hell do you need to let out? The faucet? You need to leave the faucet? The faucet? So where's the gentleness? Where is the physical gentleness here? Today, they have what is called virginal sex. They have these glasses that I see. I don't even know how. I don't believe me. I don't even know how it's.
Reality glasses.
Yeah, virtual reality, but it's about sex.
Yeah.
Really?
You put it on. These are glasses that you put on,
Yeah.
and you really imagine. And I saw this and I said, I can't believe this. That you're literally having sex. There's no human being. There's no touch. There's nothing. The devil is a liar. And when you do this for a long period of time, there's no more that you don't want your wife or your husband next to you.
Yeah, what for?
You don't want a human being. And guess where this is all coming from? It comes from the enemy. And don't you understand this?
Wow.
I'm not even going to go get there. The battle is not yours. The battle is Yahweh's. You need to recognize that Yahweh is real. And he always wins the battle.
Amen.
Whatever you're battling, please give it to him. Why aren't you giving it to him?
Amen.
But one thing that you have to learn is how to be humble. Moses was Moses because he was humble. Yeshua was Yeshua because he was humble. David was David because he was humble. He learned how to be humble. And this is an area that men have to learn how to be humble. Not to let their ego or their pride get in the way. Humility begins with the awakening that, number one, there is a creator, Elohim. And number two, you are not him. Do you understand that?
Yes.
just to let you know, Gideon won. And you can do the math, you can read it yourself, and so he won. He won. One man, one nation, under Yahweh.
Under Yahweh.
Yes? Listen very carefully. Men of valor, stop making excuses and obey your calling. Obey your Creator.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for, men of valor? What are you waiting for? You waiting for what? For the money to grow on trees? What are you waiting for? And I'm speaking right now to men. What are you waiting for? As women, as a woman, there's nothing more exciting for women when they see a man taking control, knows what they want, especially a man of Yahweh, a man of God. A strong man makes decisions, not afraid. Please go with me to 2 Chronicles 7:14. Now, this is for all of us. This is for all of you out there. Look what it says in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name,
Yes.
shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways is disobedience, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin, disobedience, and will heal their land. Have you ever heard the prayer of Jabez? Jabez?
Yes.
First Chronicles. Go with me. First Chronicles, right there, chapter 4, verse 10. Look at what. Now this is a man, and this foolishness that men don't cry. Who really? That's from the old country. What do you mean men don't cry? Man's got emotions. What is this? Men can cry. Men can ban. Men can this. Men can yes.
First Chronicles what?
First Chronicles chapter 4, verse 10.
Amen.
Now this is Jabez's prayer. And Jabez called on Elohim of Israel, saying, "Oh, that thou wouldest bless me, indeed, and enlarge my coast, that thy hand might be with me, and that thou would keep me from evil, that may not grieve, and it may not grieve me." Oh, Elohim granted him that which he granted. Elohim granted his prayer. Men out there, when was the last time you really prayed? You interceded. You fasted. When did you do this? Moses prayed and the Red Sea split open. David prayed and he had a clean heart. Daniel prayed for his sin and the sin of Israel and revelation knowledge. Yeshua prayed, "Abba, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." So why are men praying today? Why is your story? What is your story that you're not praying? Then don't call Yahweh. Don't call him, because honestly and truly, you're making him a livestock. Because we are supposed to be ambassadors in this earth and representing heaven. Not just women, men too. Well, I'm going to give up. Now, you're going to see why our men, this is happening to men a little bit. Yeshua is calling all nations to pray. Prayer is a communication connection with divine presence of Yahweh. Call Elohim. Look at this. Are you ready for this? How many times a day do you use your cell phone? Tell me, how many times a day do you check for your messages and you send text message to other people that you know? How many?
That was a liar.
How many times do you use your phone to call Elohim?
Yeah.
How many texts do you send Yahweh on your phone? How many of you in your cell phone are waiting to hear an answer from him when you put your cell underneath your pillow, and when you wake up, you can't wait. You're so eager to hear from him. How many of you? Zero. Zero. And then you want to be strong? How can you be strong? When you're looking to things that are weak. And you become who you hang around with. Call Elohim on your smartphone. How much did you pay for it? $600, $700, $1,000 on your smartphone? He would love to hear from you. Send him a text message. Send him an Instagram. Send him a Google message. Google him. I'm not kidding. I know this is funny, but I'm really saying what this is true. You know why you don't do it? You know why you don't do it? Calling him on your cell phone? You know why? You want me to tell you why?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you know you cannot reach him there. Because how you can reach him is through prayer.
Yes.
And you're not doing this. You're connecting with the wrong people to give you the strength that you need, and they're not going to give it to you. Because the strength that you need to overcome that obstacle, those problems in your life, is not with other people, it's with Yahweh. Hello?
Amen.
Stop avoiding him. Elohim does not like being last, and you are making him last. He should be number one in your life. If man will obey Elohim like Gideon did, even when the plan sounds crazy, man will become what Elohim desires and sees themselves already. How is that? Gideon was not as weak as he thought he was. He was weak in his mind. But see, when men don't have a relationship with God, they will never see their strength. They will always see their weakness. Men who have a relationship with God, they will have, and they will see their strength. Samson has strength. Even though he was strength here, but he thought he was the last Coca-Cola in the desert, and he was a womanizer. Decided to tell Delilah where his strength was. And his strength was not in his groins. His strength was not in his hair. His strength was in his spirit. And what did he do? He killed that when he told Delilah where his strength was. What did Yahweh did? He blinded him. So he will see no more. What is men and women? What are men? What is mankind? When you see mankind, you see flesh. And what is flesh? Flesh is weak.
Yeah.
And when you get close, and when you decide to make flesh, other human beings, your strength, your hero, it will not work. Because flesh brings sin, and sin is death. And what is a human being? Human beings were made in the image of Elohim. Now Gideon said, why is this happening to Israel? Why is this happening to Israel? Why? Why is this happening to Israel when you took them out of Egypt? And now it's happening? See, this is the same thing it happens today when you're going through problems in your life. You know, I do the Torah, I do the commandments, I do this, I do the feast, I accepted Jesus, I did this. And you know, why is my life like this? We all have done this. Because we always blame God, because that is in our DNA by the first father and mother, Adam and Eve, when they said, the woman you gave me, the serpent beguiled me. We always blame God, but we don't blame ourselves. And when we don't blame ourselves, it's because we're still doing childish things. We haven't matured. We haven't matured in our minds. And maturing is not because you're 50 years old, you're 20 years old, you're 100 years old. That's called old age. That's just called age. Maturing is like wine. The older you get, the better it is. Maturing is that you don't think like a child. You don't speak like a child. You don't do childish things. But now you are a man. You're a woman. Do you think? Look at you. Wow, Maria, hey, what can I tell you, I cannot do it. Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you overcome what you're confronting right now? Can you confront what you... please answer me. Can you confront what right now was in your life? Yes or no? Maybe. Hello? Not by yourself. Maybe. You said maybe?
No. Yes. With the help of Yahweh. With Yahweh.
Yes. With the help of Yahweh. Anybody else?
Yes.
Imagine. What I want to hear literally is a yes. I'm going to tell you why. You are learning how to walk like a baby. Like a toddler. And when a toddler begins to walk, the mother or the father does not say, well, sweetie, you know what? You're not going to make it. Forget it. Stay there. You're still walking. You're still learning. Which means that you're going to overcome whatever it is in your life right now. And the only way you can do it is believing in yourself, who created you, your potential, the power that's inside of you, and nothing will get in your way. The reality is, Gideon said, how can I save Israel? If any of you men ever said, how can I handle the problem in my family? What about these finances? What's going to happen? How can I handle this? You're not weak. You're strong. Get over yourself. And I'm telling you right now, remember that the saying that, I think it's a picture. I don't know how it actually goes, but I think it's called footprints.
Footprints in the sand.
Footprints in the sand. Those sands, those footprints, you don't know if it's a male or a female, and maybe it's both.
Yeah.
He's carrying you all the way. See, you're in the fire right now, and you're getting mold. Okay. When he said you got the wrong guy, this is a statement that many men say. Moses said it, Samuel said it, Amos said it, and others. Yahweh, how can I save Israel? This is the hot question of many men. How will I pay 3 months of unpaid mortgage? How can I start school in my age? How can I save my marriage? How can I tell somebody, this is men speaking, that I was sexually and mentally abused and physically abused? There's a lot of men that have been sexually abused and will never talk about it. How do I start this relationship? How can I stop suicidal thoughts? The number one, men commit more suicide than women.
True.
And you're going to see the statistics in a little bit. How do I get rid of depression and loneliness? There's a lot of men that are very lonely right now. How many men have tried and failed to make a change in their lives and focus more on their weakness instead of their strength? Let me see your hands. None? None.
Focus more on the weakness? Yeah.
Acknowledging that weakness is the first step toward asking for Elohim's power to place it in your own. As Yahweh reveals, it is because His power that Gideon will be able to succeed. He said to Gideon, surely I will be with you. Men are not from Mars, and women are definitely not from Venus. Both have unique attributes of Elohim. Men have been given the responsibility to be the head stewards, leaders, to be given to support and respect. And women have been given the support, have been given the attributes of respecting and supporting their husband. The two is what I call the dynamic duo. Now this is for you all men, and I really males. I'm talking about the males, and right now, Do you know why this is happening in your house? Whatever it is, or what is happening in your life, in your house, in your finances, in your relationship, in your church. Let me tell you why. Because you have given the keys to Satan. How can I say this? Elohim, Yahweh gave Adam the authority over all the earth.
Okay.
But guess what the Good Samaritan Adam did? He was the Good Samaritan. You know, he was the Good Samaritan and decided to give his authority to Satan.
He was a good man.
Luke chapter 4. Luke chapter 4. Luke chapter 4. Now this is when Yeshua was being tempted by the enemy.
Okay.
So if a man is having problems in his household or whatever, it's because he gave the keys, he gave that over to, he gave those keys over to Satan.
Yes. She's just saying and repeating what I said. Yes. Listen very carefully. Look at now. This is the devil tempting Yeshua. On verse number 4. Number 5. I'm sorry. 5. And the devil taking him up into a high mountain, show unto him all the kingdoms, means all the governments of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give to you, and the glory of them, for that is delivered, in other words, has been delivered unto me, has been given to me
Yeah.
by Adam.
Yeah.
And to whoever I will give it. If thou therefore worship me, all that I have will be yours. Do you imagine? Number 8. And Yeshua answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship Yahweh, your Elohim, and him only shall you serve.
Okay.
Now, what is Yeshua saying here? See, he's not just talking to us. He's literally talking to Yeshua. I'm sorry, to the devil. And he's saying to the devil, look at verse 8 on the bottom. You, devil, Satan, shall worship Yahweh, your Elohim, and him only you will serve.
Yeah.
The devil and his false prophets are in business to kill, steal, and destroy man's morale, dignity, and taking away his self-worth. How? By removing his position, responsibility as the head, the steward, the leader of his house and the earth. Men, all men and women, you can say this too. Repeat after me. I am strong.
I am strong.
I am courageous.
I am courageous.
I am made in the image of Elohim.
I am made in the image of Elohim.
I am the head.
I am the head.
I am not the tail.
I am not the tail.
I'm from above.
I am from above.
I am not from beneath.
I am not from beneath.
Good. You need to understand that everything that Elohim made was good. But when he made mankind, what did he say? Very good. Very good. So what is so very good about the creation of man? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Get ready for this, and please pay attention because this is very powerful. When Elohim sees a man, which is made in his image and his likeness, he sees himself upon the earth as he is in heaven. How can this be? He sees, listen, this is every man. These are men. This is what Yahweh sees with his eyes. He sees himself upon the earth. He sees a Moses with a spirit of understanding. He sees a Joseph with a spirit of counsel. He sees a Samson with a spirit of strength. He sees a David with a spirit of fear, or reverence, or respect of Yahweh. He sees Solomon with a spirit of wisdom. He sees Daniel with a spirit of knowledge. He sees Yeshua with the Spirit of Yahweh. And there he sees the seven spirits that are around his throne. Okay? He sees, when he sees, what does he see? He sees a mini-me version of himself upon the earth, and he says, very good.
Very good.
Very good. Very good. What have men done with their responsibility and their headship? They have given it to the devil just like Adam.
Yeah.
Men, you have made it this far. Don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. Don't quit. Isaiah 43, 1-3. This is Isaiah. This is another powerful, strong man, a prophet of the Most High, Isaiah. See, a lot of men make their heroes sports figures, actors. Sometimes their own careers, and sometimes they put their own money as their heroes. This is my hero.
Yes.
My father used to say, the only friend I have is the one that I have in my pockets, my money. How sad. But at the end, my father, he repented, and my father said to my husband, Roger, we need to laugh more often. My father, 3 days before he died, left this earth with a shalom, with a peace that I have never seen my dad have. Look what it says in Isaiah chapter 43, 1-3. But now says Yahweh, that created you, O Jacob, and he that formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. Redeem means he bought you.
Yes.
Isaiah 43. I have called thee by thy name, and you are mine. See, you are his.
Yes.
Oh,
Verse 2. Now,
Without a doubt.
this is for all men and really women too. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you.
Uh-huh.
And through the rivers, they shall not overflow you.
That's right.
When you walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burnt, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. Verse 3. For look at this, I am Yahweh, your God, your Elohim, your God, your God, your God. The Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I have Egypt. I gave Egypt for thy ransom. Ethiopia and Seba for thee. Since you were precious in you're precious in his sight.
Uh-huh.
Thou hast been honorable. I have loved thee. Therefore I will give men for thee and people for thy life.
Fear not.
I'm with you.
Yahweh says, I will never leave you nor forsake you.
Uh-huh.
Men are unique creations. Why is that? The highest development, the maturity created is man. Physically, a man is weaker than some of the animals. You don't believe that? But this weakness is far away by man's superior consciousness, including his feeling and reasoning abilities. Yet man, not just the highest life among creation, is also the unique life. Why is that? Because men were created in the image of Elohim. He did not create animals in his image. You men he created in his image,
Judge.
in his likeness, to have dominion, to have authority. Satan did not like this because, let me tell you, the earth was given to man, kind. The earth was not given to the devil. And the devil did not like this. This is why Yahweh sent angel and spoke to men, because angels cannot take authority over this earth, because the authority was says, do this, do that. Why? Because the earth was not given to angels. It was not given to demons. It was not given to Satan. It was given to mankind. Do you understand that? You have the authority over your house. You have the authority over your life. You have the authority, whatever it is, in your finances. You have the authority over what kind of relationship you're going to have in your life with your spouse, with your partner. But what are you doing with that authority? You're still, Hasatan is still playing patty cake with you. It's time to let it go. Because see, many say the devil, when the devil is defeated. And say it again, defeated. And say it again, defeated. Stop looking at your weakness. And start focusing on your strength, your ability, your power that Yahweh has given you. You are not here for coincidence. Oh, well, I was born here. No. You are here because He placed you here and He wants to use you. He has sent people over to you. He has even revealed to you His knowledge. And He has sent you angels that you don't even understand if they were angels or not. Because angels are evil spirits. Evil spirits, they cannot. That's why Yeshua had to be born from a woman and be flesh. Yeshua, because He only gave the earth to mankind. Elohim created man in His image. This is the unique importance point concerning man. Why was man created in the image of Elohim? The reason he made man in His image, and it was in order for man that he might have the ability to express Elohim here on the earth. No other part of creation has this capacity, because it was not created in His image. Anything that you see created was not created in His image, only mankind. Man on the earth are vessels that contain Messiah as the treasure in heaven. Man is the earth vessel to contain Messiah as the treasure in heaven. You're so quiet. Man is the earth vessel to contain Messiah as the treasure of heaven. When a man walks as a vessel of honor, when a man knows his position, when a man takes authority, and please, I'm not talking about abusing your children, abusing your wife, abusing the circumstances. I'm not talking about that, because that is not a man, that is a tyrant. I'm going to tell you that heaven and earth will obey you, because you have that authority. It's time for men to rise up. Ladies, we need to start praying for men to rise up like never before. Men of honor, men, and let me tell you, the enemy doesn't like this. And David expressed it very beautifully. What is this thing that the Most High had with mankind? Psalms 8. Now this is Psalm chapter 8. This is David speaking, and he says, what is this fascination that you have with mankind? What is with man? What's wrong? Why? You have made angels stronger than them. You have made angels, and you made man that is weaker than angels, and you have made him your glory. Psalms chapter number 8, verse 1. And Yahweh Elohim. This is David. Now David is not talking. David is singing. And this is singing when King Saul was persecuting him. He wanted him dead. He was singing in the middle of the battle. And look at what it says. O Yahweh, our Elohim, how excellent is thy name In all the earth, who has set your glory above the heavens? Out of the mouth of babes and the suckling hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that thou mayest still the enemy and the avenger. In other words, Yahweh is the one that takes vengeance. 3. When I consider thy heavens, the works of thy fingers, the moon, the stars, which thou hast ordained. What is man that you are constantly thinking of him?
Uh-huh.
And the Son of Man that you're visiting him through your angels. For you have made him a little lower than the angels and has crowned him with the glory and honor. Thou made him to have look at this. You have made men to have dominion over the works of thy hands. You have put everything under his feet. The sheep, the oxen, the beasts of the field, the fowl of the air, everything, everything. Verse 9. O Yahweh, our Elohim, how excellent is your name in all the earth.
Amen.
Can you imagine a man today, you men today, singing this in the midst of your problems? Can you imagine? What would you not conquer? Is who there's hard times, strong man? Is it true that hard times create strong man? Strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create bad times. What makes a man? Paul says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I spoke as a child, I reasoned as a child, but when I became a man, I left my childish way.
Yeah.
When do you become a man? When you're in puberty? When you're going through puberty?
No.
When you're 30 years old? When you're 40 years old? When does a man become a man?
After 50.
When does a man, Paul here says, and when I became a man, I left my childish ways. To the men here today, when does a man become a man? When he thinks with his groin? That's becoming a man? No. No. That's ignorance. Because all men have groins. You become a man when you realize that without Elohim, you're nothing. That's when you find out that you are a real man. You become a man when you humble yourselves in his presence and you let everything out. I cannot do it without you. You become a man when you don't abuse your wife, your children. When you don't abuse society. You become a man when you leave pride and your ego. You become a man when you know that you're so humble in his presence. Now that people can walk all over you. That now the one that's going to come inside of you, over you, on your side, in front of you, all over, it's the Spirit of Yahweh Sabaoth. However, many men have had their dignity damaged, hurt in some way, and limited their manhood. The immensity of men's suicide is the big problem today. In America, there are 123 suicides per day. Men die by suicide 3.53 times more often than women.
Wow.
White males accounted for 7 of 10 suicides in 2016. The rate of suicide is highest in middle-aged men, especially white men in particular. The second highest rate was among American Indians and Alaskan natives. What is the epidemic of suicide among men? Let me tell you. You want to hear it?
Alcohol.
That's one of them. This is the epidemic of suicide number 1. This is the risk factors. Using drugs, alcohol to help cope with emotions, relationship, the pressure of work, and other issues. 2, isolation and living alone. 3, not being able to form or sustain meaningful relationships. 4, divorce or relationship breakdowns. 5, a history of physical and sexual abuse. Men that have been sexually abused and physically abused, most of the time don't talk about it because it is in society, it is looked upon man as a weakness. And that is not true. Because men have feelings and men have to let it out. 6, imprisonment. 7, being bullied at school, college, or work. 8, unemployment. 9, loss of a loved one through trauma or disease. I don't remember if this is 8 or 9, but I think it's 9. Mental illness, particularly where this is related to depression and painful, debilitating illnesses or conditions. And this is to everybody, men and women, especially you women. We need to understand men more often because we have the habit of talking too much. And when a man tells you, your husband tells you, please call it quits. When he tells you stop, cállate la boca. You really have to cállate la boca. We don't want to do this. We want to explore. And that drives anybody up the wall. Men are not used to that. To the women out there, you have to understand that men and women don't think alike. And when your husband, your father, your brother tells you, stop, cállate la boca. Sometimes women talk too much and we become naggers. And you know what? Nobody likes a nagger. Well, you didn't like to listen to me. Why didn't you listen to me? Don't you love me? This is what's happening. Come on, tell me this. And you know what? Personally, I would love to get a plate and throw it in their face. Or get out. Get out. So what do men do when a woman gets like this? They close in their own particular space. And whatever she's saying, I don't hear. I really don't care. And not that this is wrong of men. It's just that they think different. And we women have to understand men's thinking. Because I'm going to tell you something. This statistics of men committing suicide is very high. Yeah. Men cannot cope with problems as easy as a woman does. Men have to analyze. And after they analyze, they sit down and they analyze it more. And after they sit down, they analyze it more. Because it is something that is tormenting them. And we women, and let me tell you, I have learned this because my husband and I talk a lot about how men and women think. You ladies, sisters out there, you have to understand your husband more. And please do not wait when you have an intimacy. Just look in the eyes and say, do you love me? You never told me, do you love me? That is the time that you don't want to ask him, do you love me? Come on. Let him finish his business. After you're done and after whatever, then you could ask him, sweetie, you know what? Do you love me? Once you told me, but really, I forgot. And what happens? There, you know what? Then that's when you could ask him. Don't go when a man is thinking something else, if he's doing his business, if he's thinking about bills, pray. We are not our husband's competitors. We are not our husband's enemy. Because if I was my husband's enemy, I would not be bringing this message. It really hurts me what's happening with men. And what's behind it is really Satan. Men get involved a lot in politics and what's happening with politics, and there's nothing wrong in knowing what's going on. But sometimes men overdo that. Another thing that men do, because according to my husband, it's like an escape. Watching TV or watching really action movies or Something on TV, you know, something, or on the computer or in the cell. Let me tell you, men out there, you have to make a priority in your life. What is top priority? If I ask most men today, how many hours a day do you watch TV, your cell, or your computer? What's the percentage? What do you think, men out here? How many? What's the hour? How many hours does a man spend in electronics?
Pretty high.
Eh?
Pretty high.
Can you 5 hours? 2 hours? I believe that according to statistics, most men spend like 8 hours.
Wow.
Time yourself. And this is a problem at home because most men are not really giving the attention to their wives. And guess who's giving the attention? Satan. Because whose fault is it? It's her fault? No, it's your fault. Because you're not taking care of business. See, you don't want to hear this, but I have to tell you. Because women are crying out and men are not listening. Men are listening to what's in the computer, especially those that does pornography. You making an electronic device feel you when an electronic device doesn't even know how to feel, doesn't have a heart. And whatever it is, all that beautiful stuff, all that life that's inside of you, you can give it to your wife. And you're not doing that? So who do you think is in your house? Do you think it's Goldilocks and the Three Bears? No, it's the big bad wolf. It's the big bad wolf, and he's dressed like an angel of light.
Yeah.
And guess what? And this is for you ladies out there. In your imagination, when you have this exotic, including you men, and you think you got this macho man in your mind, and you got this gorgeous guitar woman in your mind, the one you're having sex with is Satan himself. Because Satan works in the mind. And then he begins to project, you begin to project this beautiful guitar woman. And the woman began to picture this Tarzan six-pack man. But really, you don't see this. You see something beyond something that it doesn't look, even though it's human, but it's not human. And in reality, you are having sex with that person. Oh, it feels so good. How the hell can something that doesn't know who you are, doesn't have any feelings, it just moves like this. It moves like this. It's going to make you feel good? How can this make you feel good when nobody is there to touch you, to caress you? How is that? The devil is a liar, and we need to leave the childish ways. We need to leave the things of the world. And we need to come back the way it is. Because it comes a time that by you doing this kind of projection, when your husband or your wife comes along because they want intimacy, you don't want it, and let's get it over with because I got to take care of my electronic business. And you know what? Oh, how can she talk like this? And how can I not? Those are the ones that secretly go behind and doing disgusting stuff. At least I'm telling you in your face. I'm telling you in your face. Thank God. Woo! We need to help men. We need to help. What can I do to help you? How can I help you at what you're feeling? Can we talk? Let's take a walk. Women need to do things different with their husband, with the men in their life. And this is for you men, some out there that have had in the past, and maybe now you're having suicidal thoughts. I want you to repeat after me. I love who I am.
I love who I am.
I am loved by others.
I am loved by others.
I am me. I am great. I am successful. I am smart. I am not alone. This is to all of you out there. Winners are not those who never fail, but those who never quit. Elohim will be faithful to you. If Elohim can create or stop your entire universe with a word, how much can He overcome any trouble sustaining in your life? He is faithful. Be faithful to Him. Obey Him. Be faithful to Him.
Yeah.
He will not fail you. He will not abandon you. For as the rain cometh down and snows from heaven and return not there, but waters the earth and maketh spring forth a bud, He has given you the word. Let it out so it can bud, so it can flourish, so it can rain, so you can have a blessing. Don't fear to start back. Don't fear to start over. Don't fear what's before you. Rome was not built in a second. Joshua did not fear when he went to the cross. The way to victory is to start now. Come back to your first love. Know this well. Elohim is for you. Elohim is with you. Elohim is in you. Let me say it again. Elohim is for you. Elohim is with you. And Elohim is in you. What is stopping you from achieving your dreams, your goals, your desires? What is stopping you?
Yourself.
Look at your fingerprints. Your fingerprints, nobody has. The other day, my husband and I were in the car, and I was looking at the trees, and I look at the trees, different type of trees, and I said to him, I said, "Oh my goodness, honey, look at what He is revealing to me. Trees are like fingerprints. How can this be? Two trees can be of the same make, so to speaking. But if you look at the tree's shape, they're not the same. One can be like this, one can be like this. Same tree. Because the tree shape is the fingerprints on our fingers. Look at the trees. This is inside of you. Come back to Him. Come back to your first love. Elohim promised that He will withhold nothing. In other words, nothing that is good, Yahweh will withhold from you. Because everything He gives is good.
Amen.
Everything that He gives is good.
Amen.
Yeah.
Everything that He's given is good.
Yes.
The enemy, listen, are you ready for this?
Yes.
The enemy has no power. Unless you give it to him, the enemy has no power. The only thing the enemy has is ability. Ability.
Wow.
And you need to be consistent. He doesn't like when you're consistent. He doesn't like when you put pressure on him. Let me tell you, when you're walking. You're walking. Every time you walk, you lift a foot, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? You're putting pressure because the other one has pressure. You're putting pressure because the other one's pressure. So put pressure on the enemy, and he doesn't like when you're consistent. A strong man is a man that's consistent. A strong man doesn't give up because he knows. Satan knows that he doesn't have any power. He only has abilities.
Yeah.
Woo!
Wow.
You need to put pressure on the cement. You need to put pressure on the snake on the grass. On the snake of the grass head. Put pressure on his head. Every time you walk, every time you touch something, you're blessing that for you. You're blessing that for your family. You're blessing that for people that you love. You're blessing that for Israel. Put pressure. Stop being a whip. You're not an Ahab. Hallelujah.
Amen.
You are a man of Elohim. You are a man of God. You have His armor. You have His strength. He has made you in His image and His likeness. And how does the enemy attack men? Through discouragement.
Yep.
Through poverty. Through doubts. He has no power, understand. He has no power. He only has abilities. The power you possess. He does not possess that power. Hallelujah. He has been deceiving you. He has been stealing from you. He has tried to kill you, but you made it.
Yeah.
But you made it. You made it. You made it. Why is the devil weakening men? Why is the devil weakening men of God? So you don't put no more pressure on him. He's weakening men of God so you don't put pressure on him. And he knows, because Yahweh said to the snake in the grass, the serpent, in the beginning, you will touch his heel, but he will crush your head.
Wow.
And how do you crush the head of the serpent? Hallelujah. Rejoice in Yahweh, rejoice in Yahweh, rejoice, rejoice, rejoice in Yahweh, rejoice in Yahweh, rejoice, rejoice, rejoice in Yahweh. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. David did it. Moses did it. Yeshua did it. And you should do it too.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
With this, I'm going to stop.
Wow.
You were created in the image of Elohim, with a measure of Elohim's power in your mouth, in your heart, in your words, in the earth. Change your life and don't quit. Everybody says, I will not stop. I will not stop. Say it.
I will not stop.
I will not quit.
I will not quit.
I will not give up.
I will not give up.
I don't give up.
I don't give up.
I just do it.
I just do it.
Say it again.
I will not stop.
I will not stop.
I will not quit.
I will not quit.
I will not give up.
I will not give up.
I don't give up.
I don't give up.
I just do it.
I just do it.
Repeat. I will go over.
I will go over.
I will go around.
I will go around.
And I will go through.
And I will go through.
But I will never give up.
I will never give up.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Men, let Yahweh develop your strong character in an age of compromise. You have the whole world right in your hands. Mold it, shape it, control what you have been given. The power of heaven is in you. Understand Elohim has set you over nations, over kingdoms, to root out, to pull down, to destroy, to plant. Be not afraid of their faces, because they're more scared of your face.
Yeah, that's for sure.
For I am with you, says the Most High. Men of Elohim, I am with you. Men of God, I'm with you. I am with you.
I'm with you.
The all-powerful one, El Shaddai, has not given you a spirit of fear, but a power, his love, and a control mind. Hallelujah. He is in you, and you are in him. Nothing can stop you and me together. Nothing can stop us now.
That's right.
Nothing. There is nothing as such thing as impossible. If you can dream it, wake up and it can happen. If you want it, take it and it will be yours. If you know it, no one can take it away from you. Elohim has given us an infinite universe with infinite possibility. Stay open with his divine possibility. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate is the path of dark side. True courage and strength means an embrace of genuine attributes of Elohim. It's okay for men to cry. It's okay. It doesn't show a sign of weakness. It shows a sign of strength because you're letting it out. You're letting out, you're expressing your emotions, your pain, your sexual abuse. Men crying does not make them weak but stronger. Real men are not emotional. Who's this? Who said this? Come on. Men do not need. This is Charles Dickens said this. We need never to be ashamed of our tears.
Oh, what, tears?
Tears. 5 reasons that men should cry. It's good for men to cry. Number 1, you meet your emotions head on. 2, you don't care what others think about you. 3, you know that crying helps you release all those feelings that you let inside. 4, you know that crying makes you healthier overall. And 5, you help others feel more compatible expressing themselves. Men watching this video, right now, Yahweh is restoring your strength, your power, your dignity, your business, your marriage, your finances, your dreams, your health, your potential, your house, your insecurities, your pain, your loneliness, your bitterness, your pride, and most of all, Elohim is restoring you back to himself as a vessel of honor.
Amen.
Do you all believe this?
Yes.
Don't be stuck in the maze anymore. Come out of the trap of the devil. Put on the whole armor of Elohim, where you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked people that have turned against you. You were bought with the precious life of Yeshua. Before you were formed in the belly of your mother, Yahweh knew you. And before you came forth out of her womb, he sanctified you and chosen you before the foundations of the world, to root out, to pull down, to destroy and to throw down, to build, to plant, to mount up with the strength of the wings of eagles, to roar with the power of lions. Remain faithful to Elohim and look forward to your heavenly reward. Go up over the river of Jordan. Don't be scared of their faces. What they say, because Yahweh Elohim will save you. He will deliver you. He will save you. Elohim will provide you with renewed strength and courage to overcome obstacles. If Israel would only be patient to trust Yahweh's sovereign timing. Eagle's wings represents the strength and power of deliverance. Did you finish what you started?
Yes.
How many times have you complained but did nothing about it? When will you get up and do something about it? Cowards never starts. Weak never finish. Winners never quits. Never, 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 never give up. Never give in. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. Repeat after me. I will not stop.
I will not stop.
And please say it with me. Like literally you mean it. I will not stop.
I will not stop.
I will not quit.
I will not quit.
I will not give up.
I will not give up.
I don't give up.
I don't give up.
I just do it.
I just do it.
I will go over it.
I will go over it.
I will go around it.
I will go around it.
And I will go through it.
And I will get through it.
But I will never,
But I will never,
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 never
never
give up on my dreams.
give up on my dreams. Amen.
Amen.
Shalom Aleichem
Shalom.
to all you out there.
Shalom Aleichem.